son came home from college, I began to dream about him getting married. He was my first. Every mother knows what it's like when your children get to that age. You want to see them settle down, have your grandchildren. I told him, I'm going to look for a nice girl for you. What do you think? And he told me, it's a waste of time, Mum. I don't even have a job. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. He thought he had nothing to offer. My son. My brother came to visit for a few days with his new wife. The day before they left, I took them and my younger children to visit an old friend who had cancer. The doctor said he didn't have much time. I told my son, we are going to visit your Uncle Jubair. I've left you dinner on the table now. Don't go out without eating something. The next morning, he still wasn't back. I thought, oh Lord, what am I going to tell my new sister-in-law? What is she going to think? Why did he have to do this today of all days? The children woke up late and missed the bus. My son hadn't come home the night before. I couldn't focus. I yelled at them, told them to get into the car. I don't know what came over me, but I had to drop them to school. My son wasn't home after having been out all night. My brother and sister-in-law were getting ready to leave. La ilaha illallah. I couldn't focus. I drove them to school, and I drove back home still not focusing. La ilaha illallah. Around 10 a.m., I reached home. And as I turned the corner, my heart stopped. There was a police car parked in front of my house. You know what my first thought was? My son. Oh my God. Has he hurt someone? Is he in jail? What are they doing here? I jumped out of the car, and as I knocked on the door, my brother opened it. And before he let me in, he held me. And he said, whatever has happened, whatever they tell you, Appa, pray 2 rakats. You must accept it. You must be patient. Saiful, let me inside. Where is my son? I walked into the sitting room to see my sister-in-law, my niece, and 2 police officers. My husband was still not home from work. The police officers looked at me. Ma'am, are you Shairul's mother? Yes, yes, I'm his mother. Where is he? What has he done? Has he hurt someone? They looked at each other. They were so kind, soft-spoken, very well trained. Ma'am, your son is in hospital. My son is in hospital. They said they were waiting till one of the parents came home before they could say anything. Is he all right? They looked at me with soft eyes. Then the older one said, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. He looked down. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. I don't remember that entire month that followed very well. It was the month the lychee tree branches hung heavy with fruit for the first and last time. There was the moment when I heard my daughter calling for me. She had just come home after her father's friends picked her up from school a few hours later. Where's my mother? She thought something had happened to me. No one had the heart to tell her but 100 eyes followed her as she looked for me. And when she found me in the women's room, the mother of her brothers and sisters, sitting on a couch, surrounded by women, sitting quietly, she came close and fell to her knees. "Mum!" It must have been a strange thing, she said. I smiled, and I said, "Have you heard the good news?" "Mum, today is such a good day." "Mum, today is your brother's wedding day." I don't remember that entire month that followed very well. By the end of the month, all the lychee fruit was gone. Don't ever let a guest leave without eating something, I used to tell my children. That day I told them, "Today, God has laid out a feast for your brother's wedding." There were hundreds and hundreds of guests, so many that many of the men had to go to the mosque. There was so much food that it had to be sent to the mosque with the men. Not a single guest left without having eaten. You know how a bird sweeps quickly to the ground to pick up the food that is there? My son was like that. No sooner was he on the ground than the birds plucked him up. And yet, no one has seen a wedding like